Hey everybody, come on in. It's the Daily Bern. It's the war room of the political revolution. Come on in. We'll get started in just a minute. This is a motivational show for everyone that's out there every day fighting in this political revolution in order to change our government into one that works for the people, to change our society into one of justice and compassion. So come on in. We'll start in just a minute. We usually give, an inspirational message and, I sit and talk for a little bit. Then we'll go into comments and talk amongst ourselves. We go way into this, our fight, but we talk about it like winners. We talk about it because we understand that we have to do this. It must happen and it will happen. We also believe that it will happen. We'll get into why. If you're on the fence, come on in. So we're going to talk about this fight and what we're up against even. But we can and are and will win. And that's the message of this show. That's what it's about. So come on in. Please share, like, and comment. Participate in the show, please, because that helps out with the algorithm, helps us do better and get out to more people. But also, it gives me something to work off of. It's hard doing this every day. This is a daily motivational show for this fight, for this revolution. And it's tough. So I want to hear from you. I need the feedback. You know what I mean? I want to hear from you guys. But let me see who's here. Hey, Kathy. Kathy is a supporter of the show. Thanks for being here, Kathy. Where is Kilo? Jeffrey says, hey. Hey, Jeff. Good to see some people here. There's a few here on YouTube. Very good to see. Looks like there's a few here on Facebook as well. And Cheryl says can't hear over the music. Well, let me turn that off. If that's being annoying, then let's turn that off. We don't need that anyway. So what we're going to do is we're going to have what we usually do is a burn, and that's what I call it anyway. So we talk about the fight that we're in. So welcome back. This is the Daily Bern, the war room of the political revolution. This is a daily motivational, inspirational show that we do for the political revolution and for all of us that are out there fighting in the political revolution in order to move our government and society forward and make it into one of justice and compassion instead of greed and endless war. We understand that this is our fight. That's important. That's the most important thing that Bernie really nails home. If you really listen to what Bernie's saying, he always emphasizes that this is up to us, that this is our fight. Bernie's our candidate. He's a fantastic candidate. I'm very happy with Bernie as a candidate. Couldn't be happier. And he's done a lot towards moving us forward and pointed us in the right direction towards victory, given us a clear path to victory. He's done a lot. He can't do this on his own. So the most important thing I think that Bernie talks about is how we have to own this fight. We have to take it as our responsibility and understand that if we don't do it, it don't get done. Well, we do. And that's what we talk about here in the war room. We discuss that every day, and we gather here every day at 7 Central. I always talk in Central times because that's where I am, and it's just easier for me to remember it that way. But if you dig this, come back every day or check them out. I leave them up on YouTube and Facebook. They stay forever. I won't delete them. So there's a library of them. If you're ever feeling down and you want to be pumped up, listen to one of these because you got to turn off the news. You can't, that's the enemy. It's important to know your enemy, but don't let it control you. Don't let it control your mentality. That's the most important thing that we do in this fight is we focus on our mindset and think like winners. And Kathy says just liked and shared on Facebook and Twitter. Thank you. And Kathy says sad we can't send money during the show. Oh, well, this one is I'm a professional live streamer now. This is my part-time job. But this is something I do for the political revolution. And once I hit 1,000 subscribers, I think we can do that special kind of live streaming, but we aren't there yet. We're almost there. We're at 944, but I think other doors open when we hit 1,000. So we're almost there. But this one is for the political revolution. This one I want you to do something in this fight. This is my contribution. Because what I'm going to ask later on, and I ask every Daily Burn, is for you to commit to something and do it every day. And we'll talk about that more here in a little bit. But it's an endless commitment. This is my thing. This fight doesn't stop. It keeps going. It's much bigger than electing Bernie, and we'll get to all of that. But we take ownership of it here. We understand that that's what has to happen in order to move it forward. Is we have to own this 100% as ours, good and bad, all of it, and understand that it's our responsibility and our job to move it forward. Now, the good news, and we focus on that a lot here, you need to focus on the positive. The good news is we're doing that. We are crushing it. We have over 3 million volunteers signed up doing all they can to get Bernie elected and move this revolution forward. We've raised enough money for Bernie to run a fantastic campaign at a front runner level, and we're crushing it all individually. Over 4 million individual donations or individual contributions from over 1 million individual people. I'm saying part of that wrong, but it's amazing no matter how you slice it. We're doing great. And it's what's happening right now is how change takes place. So that's the good news. It's happening. So just own that and be confident in that and keep moving forward. Keep doing all you can. And we will win. We will make this happen. And that's where it's heading. But the media, their job is to break us. Their job is to discourage us. Their job is to and misinform the masses, but to break us. They're pointing the cameras in the other direction, not just to hide what's happening, but to kill our excitement, to break our spirit. It's a double-edged sword. There's multiple levels to what they're doing and what they will do. So don't let it influence you. Yes, know your enemy. Yes, understand what they're doing, understand what they're up to and what's going on, of course. But don't let them dominate you. And don't let them dominate the way you think or your thoughts. Ginger says supposed to get out of Facebook jail tonight. Isn't that crazy? Isn't Facebook jail just the most absurd concept? But it happens all the time, and it's happening to a lot of us in this revolution. And Cheryl says, don't really like it being called a war room. I'm a peacenik. Well, we're in a fight. It's a peaceful revolution. This is a political revolution. So at its core, by definition, it is a fight. I'm peaceful too. I want it to be peaceful. That's what I want. I want to overwhelm their system and I want to take it by the force of our numbers. When I speak about force or fighting or anything like that, I'm talking about us overwhelming their system with our numbers. That's what I mean. But I don't mean it in the way of violence, but we are in a fight. This is a fight. And that's cool that you're getting out of Facebook sharing jail tonight, but I'm sure you'll get yourself locked back up, right? But we tried a new little strategy. I've been sharing the YouTube link to the show, same show, just on YouTube, to Facebook beforehand. So we think that might be friendlier to share on Facebook because they're throttling this particular show. They're keeping it down because they don't want, it getting out. They don't want this getting out and getting an audience because they don't want any positivity out there. They want negative thoughts. They want you defeated. They want to be able to control how you feel. That's why they push down stuff like this. It's not to keep you from it and protect you because it's fake news or propaganda. It's because it's true. And I just made this show up. I wanted there to be a motivational show for us, so I made one. But what I'm telling you is not lies, it's truth. If we take ownership of this fully, we own it and decide that our future is ours. And no one is going to tell us we can't have these things we know are possible and we know are the right thing to do. And the only thing that can't survive, the only reason why we can't have these things is because you can't have this endless greed. Now that's got to go. So are we going to let the people that want to keep that tell us no? Because they will. They're going to tell us no endlessly. Are we going to listen? Is it going to matter? Should it matter? Everything is impossible till it's done. Everything. They always say it's impossible. It can't happen. No one can do that. That can't be done until it is done. And they're going to tell us no. They're going to tell us no all the way up until the end. They tell us it's impossible, make fun of us, mock us. That's the way it goes. Because, like we were saying, this is a fight. We're in a war, and war is deception. The weapon being used against us is the media and information. They're controlling and manipulating it. That's something we're up against. And like Kathy says, this is the fight of our lives. This is a fight. The stakes are immensely high, and it's for keeps. So, and Kathy says there will not be a movement like this in our lifetime, now or never. This isn't going to happen again. We're not going to get a better opportunity. So we need to own this 100% and then decide that we're going to get it, visualize winning. That's where we're heading. So visualize that and own it and live in that. And don't let anyone take it away. You need to believe it and visualize it and build it in your mind in such a way that it is already yours, it is already real, and you won't let anyone take it away from you. That is how you get it. You believe, you make the commitment, you decide, I'm getting this, I'm doing this is going to happen. I am going to do everything I can to make it happen. And then you do more than just say that. You have to actually do it. So then there's what I was going to say, we would come back to. You have to commit to doing something in this fight. It doesn't matter what it is, whatever that ends up being for you. I mean, make sure you commit to doing something, but we all have our own strengths and weaknesses and talents and gifts. So find what you can do, whatever that is, and commit to it, and then do it every day, whether you feel like it or not. No matter what, commit and then do that every day. If you want ideas for things to do, go to berniesanders.com. I include a link in the description of every Daily Bern to berniesanders.com. Go there. There's tons of ways to volunteer. You could maybe donate. If you have the ability to donate, please donate any amount. Nothing's too small. Don't feel like anything's too insignificant. Even $1 means something. So this is all funded by us, and we're up against massive amounts of money. Now, we don't have to raise billions, but we're going to have to raise a lot of money. So donate if you can, but maybe you can't donate, maybe you can't volunteer, but you can talk to people, you can do other things. You know what I mean? You can get a bumper sticker, put that on your car. That may seem small, but it raises a lot of excitement and it raises a lot of awareness. That's a good thing. So that small gesture is promoting the campaign everywhere you go, whether you realize it or not. It does a lot. Wearing your Bernie gear out in public. People like seeing that stuff. Creates excitement, creates interest. Different things, whatever. Pick something. Do it every day. No matter what you pick, there are going to be days when you don't want to do it. But if you keep going, you have the discipline. Discipline gets things done. The discipline to keep pushing forward, to push through the pain, push through the no's, when you run into obstacles, to find your way around them, to not let yourself get discouraged. You know, a lot of people, all you got to do is tell them no, and they'll quit. They'll give up. You just tell them no. No, you can't have that. And they'll be like, okay. All right, well, I guess I'll figure out something else I want, something else that I'll settle for. But hey, Kilo, good to see you made it. But we can't be that way. We can't be that way. We have to decide that we're coming for this because we're not coming to ask. If we wait for permission, that will never happen. There will never come a time where those in power over us, these predators, will self correct and that they'll realize, oh, well, okay, this isn't even sustainable what we're doing. This is heading for disaster in every way. They're never going to do that. It's never going to happen. We have to take control. Not waiting, not asking permission. There is no middle ground, even. We're not here to negotiate. We're here to take this back. And Kathy says the millennials will save us. I'll bet the ranch. Oh, the young people that are coming up and coming into voting in mass support our movement. We are going to win. We have the momentum needed to win. It's not unrealistic for me to say that we are winning. We are winning. We're the front runners. I realize that's not what's being shown, but we all understand it as truth. When you look at every important statistic, every number that actually matters, we are absolutely crushing it. So just be comfortable in that. I understand fully what's at stake. So I realize that you can get caught up in all of that and get overwhelmed by it, but don't. Because we are going to win. We are, and like Kilo says, they highly underestimate Bernie supporters. Highly. Hey Steve, hey Ray, good to see you guys. I had this in my drawer because I couldn't look at it. It was stuttering so bad, but now it looks like it's back to being okay. Ray says I was a conscientious objector during the Vietnam era. That's what it takes. It only happens, change and action only happens when the people stand united and demand it. That's the only way it's ever happened, not just in American history, in history, in all of history. It's how it happens. That's how change takes place when the people stand up and demand it. And that's what's happening right now. It won't be reported as it happens. It will be as hidden as it can, but it will be historically remembered as when our society changed direction. You know, we just won't get the glory until we've actually won. You know what I mean? The victors get to tell the tale, write history. That's what gets remembered. Right now, the powerful control information. They have full control of the media, and we're fighting against that. We have to be the media. That, I believe, is our biggest job and our biggest responsibility. And Matthew says it's a war against the establishment. It's a war. This is a fight. We are absolutely in a fight. And Sharon says, stop giving our tax dollars for never ending wars. The U.S. would flourish. Absolutely. There's plenty of money. There's plenty of money. They want to tell you it can't be done. Well, what can't happen, what can't be done is their greed-driven system can't survive. That would die. And the greed in the healthcare industry would die off and all of that would end. That's true. Good. Good. They are holding people hostage and killing people for medicine, charging them 16 times what people pay in other countries for the same medication. The greed is out of control, it's out of hand. So something needs to be done. Good. I'm glad that it would die off. That's what's impossible. That's what they're talking about when they say it can't be done. That can't continue. Well, good. That needs to end. And that's what we're coming to take away. So don't ever let anybody tell you it can't be done, because it can. And none of this is impossible. Matter of fact, if you want to inform yourself on how it can be done, BernieSanders.com is again a great way to do that. It's all laid out, exactly how it gets paid for. And the more informed you are on that, the better you're going to be able to explain it to people. So that could be what you do. Every day I'm going to learn something about these policies. I'm going to learn how they get paid for so that I can explain them really well. See what I mean? It can be anything that you do. And you can pick and be creative about how you do it. But as long as we commit to doing all this work, and it is a lot of work, and keeping our mind strong, and we think like winners, and we believe we can make this happen, and no one can stop us. Absolutely nobody but us. Don't be the one that stops you. Tell yourself yes. There'll be enough people lined up to say you can't do something. No matter what you're trying to do, people will trip over themselves to tell you can't do it, that's impossible, it can't be done. Because, God forbid, you succeed, then that would magnify their, not only their failures, but their lack of attempt to even try to do something good or great, even. But everything worth having takes effort and is hard. But if you're committed and you do the work, you can do it. Just have to stop thinking like with that defeated mentality. You go into things talking yourself out of it. You can do it. Tell yourself yes. Don't be the one that defeats yourself. There's enough people lined up to try and do that for you. Matthew says, feeling the burn from Cleveland, Ohio. I'm in rural Missouri. Um, I don't even know what the biggest town that you would have heard of to me is. I'm that in the middle of Missouri, like surrounded by cornfields. But it's good to see you here, Matthew. It's good to see a lot of people here on Facebook tonight and on YouTube as well. But Kathy says, I worked with, doctors I worked with would go home to India and buy a year's worth of medications and pay next to nothing for them. So disgusting, this system we've had to tolerate. And Kathy's from Michigan. Kathy says Michigan has Bernie 6. We are dominating this. I want to stress that as many times as I can because the media is saying the exact opposite. But I'm telling you, look at any stat that matters. And the truth is, we're crushing it. And Ray says it's easier to be forgiven than to get permission. Exactly. They're never going to tell you you can have it. They're always going to say no. You know, Kilo says it's a shame the system puts their money above life. Well, they will continue to. And it won't stop until we stop it. And that's what we're coming to do. So that's the good news. That's the positive. And that's another way to really work on fixing your mindset and fixing the way that you think is focusing on positive things instead of negative. And focus on our goals, where we're heading. Think about that. Think about what we're pushing towards. We know what we're trying to change. We know what we're up against. What are we going towards? Think about that. Focus on that. visualize it, and believe that we can make it happen. That's how you improve your mindset. If you sit and focus on what we're up against all the time, it seems very overwhelming, but it's not. It's a lot, and it's going to take a lot of work, a lot of effort, but we're doing it. It's already happening. It's in process right now. We have the momentum needed to win. So just live in that confidence and it'll build on its own. You see what I mean? Confidence attracts, desperation repels. We have no reason to act desperate. We're winning. We're the front runners. We're crushing this. So live in that. Live with that. Matthew says, watch Secular Talk with Kyle Kalinske. It's very informative. I like Kyle. I recommend that too. I haven't watched it in a while, but I do like Kyle. I enjoy him. I've been trying to find different people like that. I've also been searching for, as Kathy said earlier, I am a professional live streamer. I do these shows professionally. I have other shows. So if you're watching on YouTube, you already understand that. You know about that's where everything hubs out of is my YouTube channel. But I'm trying to find other contributors to make shows for the YouTube channel because I'd like to make this into like a network. This show I've decided will be permanent and stick around. And after we get Bernie elected, we'll be focusing on different things like pushing for Medicare for all, we keep fighting. This doesn't end when we get Bernie elected. This revolution keeps going. And this show, I think, is important to it because motivation is like bathing, it doesn't last. So you need to do it every day. And there's definitely enough negativity being pushed down our throats as we try and keep moving forward towards progress and changing all of that. But we're up against it, so there's no point in ignoring it. And I wanted there to be some way for us to build ourselves up. And that's what this was when I conceived it. That's what the idea was. And I'm really happy with what's been coming about with it and how it's grown. So Kathy says it's plain evil. The system that lords over us is evil. And the only thing that will change it, the only thing that will correct it, is what we're doing. So we're doing the right thing. We're going in the right direction. We're doing all the right things. This will work. Kilo says 40,000 die without health care per year. Per year. In a year and a half, that exceeds all of the U.S. dead in Vietnam. That is a staggering statistic. It's disgusting. This greed-driven healthcare system. Just focusing on that for a second, that's disgusting enough. People having to make decisions between food and medicine. Can't seek medical treatment when they need to. It's got to go. It's wrong. We understand that. We understand that it's morally wrong. But it doesn't even make sense financially. Medicare for all is cheaper. The Koch brothers did a study and they proved that it's cheaper than our current system. It makes more sense in every way. It is the right way to go. It's where we're going. But they're going to do everything they can to try and make it look like it's impossible and make it look like not everybody wants it. Matter of fact, it has a majority of support. But they're trying to be like, oh, it infringes on your freedoms and brainwash people into voting against their own best interests. That's what they do. And that's what we're up against. So we fight that. And that's our job. So as long as we do that, as long as we put in the commitment and we keep moving forward, we will win. And that's what we talk about every day on this show. And I think that's real important to focus on. It's important for us to not talk ourselves out of this. That's what I'm trying to get at. You got to build yourself up to the point where none of this other stuff can break you. because we're up against it. It's not going anywhere. So we're going to have to fight all of it. Don't let it break you, though. Make sure that you're so sure of this, that it's the right thing, that we're heading in the right direction, and that we're going to win, that nothing can discourage you. Nothing can break you. Nothing can break your spirit. And decide that we want this so much that it's like you already have it, and no one is going to take it from you. And then we can win this. And once we get Bernie elected, we will inspire so many people just by doing that. A lot of people need to see some winning before they'll even get involved. That's going to inspire millions of people getting Bernie elected. And then we keep moving forward and we keep changing. We get involved at all levels of the government. There's a lot to be done, but it's all doable, and we're doing it. We can do this. My Babels right now is at an alderman meeting. She ran for alderman and won. It's what we got to do. Things like that. Run for school board, run for local offices, all that stuff. That's what we're doing. That's why it's going to work. It's not because Bernie's so great, even though I think he's great. It's because we're doing what needs to happen. We are making the commitment. We are doing it. We are owning this fight. That's why it's going to work. That's what's going to make it work. Us doing all that we can. And this is my contribution. This is what I'm doing. It's one of the things I'm doing. I try to give when I can and do some volunteering, but do what you can, anything, and do it every day. Commit and keep doing the work, and we'll win this. In the end, we will win. But it won't be shown as it's happening. They will not let people know what we're doing as it's happening. The revolution will not be televised. So just know that and keep fighting. Keep doing all you can out there, and we're going to win this. But thanks for watching this, though. This is the Daily Bern, and we do it every day. But let me see what you guys have been talking about. Kathy says, I have 2 empty rooms. I live in Hazlet. If you know anyone near me that needs a place, offer always open. Oh, wow. That was a really cool thing to say. What are you, like 2 empty rooms? I don't really know. What is she talking about? It held a message of yours for review again. She said, I'm going to read it to you. There was absolutely no one at Biden's Iowa event 1 hour before it started. Front runner, and you even censored yourself. She said the ASS word, but she put A double dollar signs and photos on Facebook and Twitter. That's true, by the way. He has no support. They're still trying to say he's the front runner. There is no lie too big for them. None. They don't care. They'll tell any lie. They're not even realistic about it. I've always thought, and this is my theory, I've always thought that Biden, even running him as a front runner and pushing him as a front runner, is them playing chicken with us. Them playing chicken with progressives and all of us, and letting us know, dude, we'd rather lose to Trump. We would absolutely rather lose to Trump than let you win. That's what it looks like to me anyway. Because Biden would lose, Biden would get destroyed by Trump in the general election. Elizabeth Warren would lose, Kamala Harris would lose, Cory Booker would lose, Pete Buttigieg would lose. They all would, and they know that. The only winner on that stage is Bernie Sanders, and they know that too. They don't want to let us win. They're not afraid of Bernie. They're afraid of us. And Kilo says Bernie or bust. That's the situation, folks. This is a Bernie or bust situation. There's no other way to look at it. There's no half measure here. We have our candidate. We have our path. Don't let anything divert you. Keep moving forward. Focus on what we're doing and know that it's the right thing, that we're heading in the right direction. This is what makes change happen. So just keep moving forward, keep pushing. And it is a burn your bus situation. It's a burn your vest situation. We may end up having to take to the streets. We have to be fully committed. This is going to happen because it must happen. This must happen. We understand that. So good news is it's gonna, but it has to. We have to be committed to seeing it through and to doing all that needs to be done to make it happen. And if we do that, if enough of us do that and we fully own it, we cannot be stopped. So that's the good news. But it has to happen. This must happen. And we're going to do everything we can to make sure that it does. Kathy says Bernie or Bust is right. Don't know if I'm blocked again for use of dollar signs. Yeah, I don't know. That's weird, but I didn't show it, but I read it. Kilo says Bernie's the only one who's earned the vote, or my vote. I agree with you. He's the only candidate that's earned my vote. There's none of them are good enough. I don't believe that any of them would fight for the things that I want. And to keep doing, like to vote blue no matter who, for instance, that is the literal definition of insanity. That's crazy. To keep voting against your own best interests in the hope that they'll eventually do the right thing, that's insane. We need massive change. We got to change this whole system. This whole system's got to change from the ground up. That's what we're doing. That's where this is heading. That's what's going on here. And Ginger says, Bernie or vest. You're absolutely right, Bernie or vest. That's where we're at. We have to be 100% committed to this. Not 90%, not 95, 100%. And there's no losing here. We're not, I'm not going there to back down. We're seeing this all the way through. Nathan says, Land of Lincoln here, working my ass off in Iowa, knocking on doors since 2015. Enough is enough, and this must happen. It's going to happen. That's the good news, Nathan. But you're absolutely right. It must happen. That's why it's going to happen. You can only push so far before people hit their breaking point, and that's true in everything. There is an awakening happening all over the planet. There's uprisings happening all over the globe. It's not just happening in America. There's a mass awakening happening on this planet. People are realizing this greed is overwhelming society and suffocating society, and it has to stop. People are standing up, and this is happening, and we're a part of it. We're leading it. We're in this fight. So thank you to everybody that is out there fighting every day. A lot of you I see here today, and I see you here often, but I see you out there too. I see what you're doing, and I appreciate it. And thank you. I appreciate what you're doing out there. And what we're doing is going to be what changes our future, changes our society into one that's of compassion and justice instead of greed and endless war. We don't support that. So stop tolerating it. If we stop tolerating it, we can eliminate it from our existence. We can change our reality. So keep fighting. Keep doing all you can and keep moving forward, and we will win. We will. Just do all you can. Keep fighting out there. And if you're ever feeling down, watch the Daily Bern. Come here and talk about it. Reach out. I know I would fall over myself to try and build somebody back up that was feeling low in this fight. But any of us probably would. Any of the people that are, regulars of this show, I think we would all build each other up. I would want to think so anyway. I would hope. But that's what it's for. This place is supposed to be a place where you can come and build yourself up and find strength in this fight. Because it's a long fight. This is a marathon. It's not a sprint. We have a lot to do, and we're doing it. So thank you guys, and keep fighting out there. Keep moving forward. Keep doing all you can, and we will win. Not Bernie, us. That's what we need to understand. This is not Bernie's fight. It's our fight. And we own that, we'll win. So thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for hanging out. And thanks for sharing the Daily Bern. And come back tomorrow at 7 p.m. Central. We do this every day. And hang out with us. If you like this, come back. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you guys later on the next Daily Bern tomorrow.